For over half a century, Carol Burnett has been beloved as one of the most gifted and gracious comedians in American entertainment. With her signature warmth, contagious laugh, and comedic brilliance, she built a career that defined television variety shows. The Carol Burnett Show became a cultural landmark from 1967 to 1978, showcasing her unmatched talent for sketch comedy and her remarkable chemistry with a team of equally brilliant performers like Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, and Vicki Lawrence. Carol was known for her kindness and professionalism, a woman who could make anyone laugh without ever seeming mean-spirited. Yet behind that friendly smile and humble charm, there was one actor she reportedly couldn't stand. Yes, even America's comedy sweetheart had her limits. Despite her reputation for patience and forgiveness, Carol Burnett had a deeply personal and professional falling out with one actor who, according to several insiders, rubbed her the wrong way like no one else ever had. The tension between them became the stuff of Hollywood legend, whispered about behind the scenes and occasionally hinted at in interviews. But who was the actor that Carol Burnett truly hated more than anyone else? And what really happened to cause such lasting animosity? Let's unravel the story, the rise of Carol's career, the clash that changed her view of a fellow performer, and the shocking truth behind one of television's most unexpected rivalries. The Queen of Comedy. Before we dive into the feud, it's important to understand who Carol Burnett was and why she meant so much to audiences. Born in San Antonio, Texas in 1933, Carol came from humble beginnings. Her parents struggled with alcoholism, and her early years were marked by hardship. But even as a child, she found comfort in laughter and imagination. She dreamed of one day performing on stage, though she never imagined she'd become one of the most recognizable faces in American television. Her big break came when she moved to New York City and began performing in sketch comedy and musical revues. Her appearances on The Gary Moore Show in the late 1950s earned her national attention, and her comedic genius was undeniable. By the mid-1960s, CBS gave her a chance to headline her own variety program. That show, The Carol Burnett Show, premiered in 1967 and became an instant hit. Carol's genius lay in combining physical comedy, musical talent, and genuine warmth. She wasn't just a funny woman, she was a powerhouse performer who could make you laugh one minute and cry the next. The show's chemistry was pure magic. Harvey Korman, Tim Conway, and Vicki Lawrence were her partners in comedy, and together they created unforgettable sketches that still hold up today. The Family, Went with the Wind, and The Dentist are still cited as some of television's funniest moments. But even amidst that laughter and love, Carol eventually encountered someone she simply couldn't get along with, an actor whose arrogance and lack of respect clashed with everything she stood for. Enter the actor. She couldn't stand throughout her long career. Carol worked with countless actors, from comedy legends to up-and-coming stars. But during one particularly turbulent guest appearance, she crossed paths with a performer whose attitude tested her famously good nature. That actor was Lyle Waggoner, the handsome and charming co-star who joined the Carol Burnett Show during its early seasons. Lyle was a former model and aspiring actor with movie star looks, and for a while, he was considered the straight man of the show, the handsome foil to Carol's comedic chaos. At first, things seemed fine. Lyle brought a suave energy to the cast, and his good looks made him popular with the audience. But behind the scenes, tensions began to simmer. Carol, who valued teamwork and humility, reportedly grew frustrated with Waggoner's attitude. While the rest of the cast was known for being collaborative, supportive, and lighthearted, Lyle allegedly developed a reputation for ego and vanity. Some insiders claimed that Lyle often complained about his screen time, feeling overshadowed by the show's funnier players. Carol, however, believed that every cast member had their role, and that success came from serving the sketch, not the ego. According to one crew member, Carol adored everyone she worked with except Lyle. She thought he was too focused on his looks and not enough on the comedy. He didn't like taking direction, and Carol wasn't used to that kind of attitude. The breaking point things reportedly came to a head during the middle seasons of The Carol Burnett Show. As the show's ratings soared, so did the egos, but mostly Lyle's. Carol's patience began to wear thin. She prided herself on leading a happy, family-like set, and Lyle's behavior began to disrupt that balance. In one particularly heated rehearsal, Carol reportedly lost her temper, something that rarely happened. The story goes that Lyle made a dismissive remark about one of the sketches, suggesting that it wasn't funny and that he shouldn't be in silly bits. Carol, always professional but protective of her creative team, allegedly fired back. "If you think this show is beneath you, maybe you shouldn't be on it." The tension hung heavy. Though they finished the season together, insiders claim their working relationship never recovered. By the early 1970s, Lyle left the show. Officially, it was said that he wanted to pursue other opportunities. But many close to the production believe Carol had made it clear that things couldn't go on as they were. While Carol never publicly badmouthed Lyle, her feelings were obvious to those around her. One longtime friend later remarked, "Carol could forgive almost anything, but when someone disrespected her team or the comedy itself, that was it. She never looked back." Lyle's post-show career. After leaving the Carol Burnett Show, Lyle Waggoner went on to star in the hit TV series Wonder Woman alongside Linda Carter, where he played Steve Trevor. He later shifted into business, founding a company that provided motorhomes for film and television productions, a venture that became surprisingly successful. Meanwhile, the Carol Burnett Show continued to thrive without him, reaching even greater creative heights with Tim Conway taking on a larger role. Many fans noticed that the show seemed to loosen up after Lyle's departure. The sketches became more playful, and Carol appeared more at ease. Over time, Lyle and Carol's paths rarely crossed again. Though he occasionally mentioned her in interviews, Carol avoided speaking about him altogether, a rarity for someone who typically had kind words for everyone she worked with. In one rare moment, when asked about former castmates, Carol referred to Lyle only briefly, saying, "We had some very different personalities on the show. Some fit like a glove and others, well, sometimes people move on." It was the most diplomatic way possible of saying what insiders already knew. She never liked him. Carol Burnett's professionalism. Understand why this particular feud was so striking. You have to appreciate Carol's professionalism. She was not a woman prone to gossip, grudges, or drama. She treated everyone with respect, from her fellow stars to the stagehands. So for her to develop genuine dislike toward a co-star meant something serious must have happened. Carol's entire philosophy of comedy was rooted in generosity, making others look good, building trust, and finding joy in collaboration. When someone didn't share that spirit, it created friction. Lyle's reported arrogance and refusal to play along were the opposite of what made her show work. In many ways, Carol's clash with him wasn't about personal hatred. It was about values. She loved comedy that came from heart and humility, and she had no patience for vanity or self-importance. Rumors and reconciliation. Years later, rumors occasionally surfaced that Carol and Lyle may have reconciled. Some fans hoped that time had healed old wounds. When Lyle passed away in 2020 at the age of 84, many wondered if Carol would speak publicly about him. She didn't release a formal statement, though friends close to her said she wished him peace and was grateful for the early seasons they worked on together. It was a graceful response, pure Carol. Those who knew her best said that while she never forgave his arrogance, she eventually let go of any resentment. Carol once said in an interview about her career, "You can't carry negativity with you, it's too heavy. I like to leave it behind and remember the laughter." That philosophy perfectly summed up her approach. She may have hated working with Lyle Waggoner, but she refused to let it define her. Lessons from the feud. The story of Carol Burnett's least favorite co-star offers a glimpse into the delicate balance of comedy, ego, and teamwork. Television variety shows, especially in the 1960s and 70s, were massive productions, requiring cooperation, trust, and timing. One person's ego could throw off the entire rhythm. For Carol, maintaining harmony among her cast was essential. Her genius wasn't just in her performance, it was in her leadership. She ran her show like a family, fostering creativity and kindness. Lyle's presence, though brief, reminded her and others that talent means little without humility.